Hey guys, Marsingin here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to be looking at the full EZA LR Trunks and MAI that's just come out on Global. We've obviously got them Rainbow, full level 10 links, fully EZA SA25. So one of the best things about their EZA, because obviously their main weakness pre-EZA was obviously their defense. So they do greatly raise defense for one turn on both of their supers now. Their 12 key does colossal damage with a medium chance to stun, which is 30%, and then their 12 key is mega colossal with a high chance to stun, which is obviously 50%. And yeah, both of those greatly raise defense, which is a 50% raise. They get attack and defense 70%. Key 1 plus an additional attack and defense 20% up to 140 per time traveler's ally on the team. So obviously full time traveler allies team, including the friend, is going to be what, the full 140, which is 7 units. Yeah, so that is, I don't know why it says up to 140, because that's the highest you can get by having 7 time traveler allies. So there you go. And then superclass allies attack and defense 30%, so they do provide some support as well. They get an additional 6 key and a high chance to dodge when there is a future saga enemy. So I think overall that is probably one of their biggest weaknesses, because there aren't really any of the more difficult fights in the game where you actually fight against future saga enemies. Although now that I look at it, I tried to bring some units that they share some decent links with, but obviously these guys are not on time travelers. I think, actually, yeah, you're not going to be either. So we are getting, what, there's you, the friend Vegeta and Trunks count, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're getting 100% out of the possible 140 from their passive. So we have to bear that in mind. Obviously, I'm going to be using these units on a bunch of different teams against a bunch of different events. So we will obviously have them in a full time traveler team at some point. But yeah, they had 360k defense at the start of the turn. That's with the support. Obviously the AGL Goku Black is giving 40% support to future saga units. That AGL Trunks and MAI is a unit that they share a lot of links with. In terms of link partners, they're their best link partner actually, with 6 links. And then units that share 5 links is the AGL LR Future Gohan. And then you've got Int MAI, who unfortunately she very much needs an EZA. Should I just get Future Gohan out now? I probably should, right? Because if I do this, get the exchange, he should die. Oh yeah, we're getting supered in slot 1. So yeah, he should die here. And then we can get the exchange, well, the revival, and he'll be fully juiced up and ready to go. And then yeah, he shares 5 links with Trunks and MAI. They do share 4 links with Vegeta and Trunks, so obviously they're going to work quite nicely as like a slot 2 unit on Vegeta and Trunks' team, because ideally, you know, you're always going to be wanting to put Vegeta and Trunks in slot 1. So then Trunks and MAI next to them, they share 4 links, which are Dismal Future, Prepared for Battle, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power. So that's what, 4 key and 40% attack, 5% defense. So not a huge amount of defense from those links, but how much defense do you guys have? Not a lot, right? 239. This unit I'm actually very intrigued. Like with an EZA, I feel like they could actually be really good. But yeah, so Trunks and MAI, all links active. They're at 276k. We obviously don't have the support, because last time we had the AGL Goku Black support. So let's go ahead and do this, and then do this. But yeah, both the AGL Trunks and MAI and the STR Bardock and Gine, they're the side banner units for the 5th anniversary LR banners. Both of those I think could have very, very good EZAs when they roll around. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what they can do with them, because this AGL Trunks and MAI, like I say, they're one of the best, well, they are the best link partner for the LR. They obviously share every single link except for Legendary Power. So them getting a good EZA. I feel like the EZA Trunks and MAI, when these two EZAs came out on JP, they obviously got like massively underlooked because the tech Goku Black and Zamasu, like their showcase video should be up already. They are like absolutely insane. Whereas these guys, they seem like they are pretty good. It's just the fact that they obviously pale in comparison to the other LR EZA that came out at exactly the same time, which is unfortunate. Because double super, they greatly raised their defense twice. So they're looking at what, over 400k defense on this turn, which isn't a crazy amount. Which I guess comes back to what I was saying at the beginning, where realistically their best situations or best setups are going to be when you're able to dodge, which is only against a future Saga enemy. So because they have the stun as well, I definitely feel like the Trunks and Mai are more so of a Super Battle Road unit. So one video that I definitely will do for them is taking them into Future Saga Extreme Super Battle Road, because the first and third fight are against Future Saga enemies, and then the second fight is against Cell. But against the androids in the first fight, and then Goku Black and Zamasu in the last fight, they obviously are able to dodge, so that gives them quite a lot of extra utility. So what are they on here with no support? Only 4 links, yeah, 200k. So that's where they're going to start to look a little bit on the weaker side. If we get, obviously, we get their 18 key super, they're going to go up to 300k. If they get an additional, then we're going to be, you know, basically at 400k. But even that, against like an AGL enemy, if Oceanus supers Trunks and Mai, then we are potentially going to take a reasonable amount of damage, which is why I feel like they're one of those units, if they ever release like new harder content or new bosses that are Future Saga enemies, then obviously these guys will be one of the top picks for the team, right? Because they're getting 6 extra key, making it easier to hit that 18 key super, and they have a 50% chance to dodge, which, you know, pretty good, right? Coin flip, dodge chance. I mean, these guys absolutely dominate. Like back in the day, the original Future Saga Super Battle Road, like before even Extreme Super Battle Road, Future Saga and like Time Travelers pretty much just carried by using double Trunks and Mai and just like stun locking everybody. So like Super Battle Road, they are obviously really good, but when we start thinking about like big red zone bosses, I mean, if they're taking 50k from normals from Oceanus here, like just imagine how badly they would get like tuned up by Broly. So I'm not able to get a lot of key here, which is unfortunate for Future Gohan. Managed to get Future Gohan out like super early, and haven't really been able to do anything with him. I'm getting the physical one floated off. Our rotations have been a bit of a mess, but the physical Future Gohan is the one who I eventually want to be on rotation with this other Trunks and Vegeta, so then we will actually be able to get the AGL one floated off. Still putting out 7.5, considering this isn't a crazy rotation for him, and we only picked up 2 orbs, so not too bad. I don't really use this unit all that much. I think the only times I really use this unit currently is for Battlefield. My Super AGL team is a Bond of Master and Disciple team, but he is actually a solid unit. Yeah, see, this time we're not even going to get to see them attack, right? Because it makes no sense to put them in slot 1 against the unit that they can't dodge against. So, unfortunately, we're not even going to get to see them attack here. I'll try not to get too many same type orbs. I don't know if I can put off the Dokkan attack on the next turn and then get it with them. Although, to be fair, again, with the way that the Vegeta and Trunks have been building up, it's impossible to not super with them in slot 1, so they would be getting the Dokkan attack. But yeah, Trunks and Mai, my initial impression just from this run that we've seen so far is, whilst I don't think they are necessarily as bad as some people may have made out when they first dropped on JP, they're definitely not like crazy impressive. Especially, again, it's unfortunate for them, but considering that they're releasing alongside Tech, Goku Black and Zamasu, who I mean, if you guys haven't watched it already, make sure you go watch the showcase for them after this, because I knew they were good from when they came out on JP, but actually seeing them in game and seeing those numbers coming up on the screen, blown away by how good Goku Black and Zamasu are. Like, how good they look on their best turns is actually crazy. Whereas Trunks and Mai, for them, their best situation is like against a Future Saga enemy or in Super Battle Road against an enemy that can be stunned, and then they are going to be, obviously in those situations, they're going to look really impressive. But against like the big red zone bosses, I'll be interested to see. We definitely will I'll do a video where we try taking them up against the red zone Metal Cooler Core, because they can't get their dodge against him, but they do have type advantage. The only problem is with what I'm seeing from their defense numbers, like during this run, I think even if they get a double super, the Metal Cooler Core potentially still kills them with his super attack, which is pretty crazy. So I guess we will see how that goes. Did he really seal them? Oh, okay. Well, that's unfortunate. 276k defense is with all their links active, because legendary power. Well, I guess, yeah, they can't even get legendary power active now, can they? Because they've got no way to super attack. So, I mean, let's see. What would their defense be? If we do, let's do your active skill.
We did it, Trunks.
It's going to be another turn where they're not even going to get to attack now, but they're sealed, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But so their defense with his active skill goes up to 330. So after they super attack, like, their defense on this turn is reasonable, right? Like, still weird that we're in a meta where having like 500k defense is not that impressive anymore, but it's only because that just means that against all of the big red zone bosses, they just get basically one shot by their super attacks. A lot of units nowadays are fitting into this bracket. I've talked about this in previous videos, but like, a lot of units nowadays are fitting into that niche where it's like they'll be able to tank red zone bosses normal attacks, either for double digits or only for like a couple of thousand or something like that, but then as soon as they get hit with a super attack, they just get immediately destroyed. And unfortunately, we are seeing more and more units that are kind of fitting into that niche, which, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, it's just obviously very unfortunate when you go into those events and then that is the unit that takes a super, because we're getting more and more of those units that against certain red zone bosses, and you know, Cell Max is an outlier because it's a very weird event, but like, you're only going to have a couple of units on your team, maybe even only one unit on every turn, like each rotation. You're only going to have one unit that potentially will survive a super attack, or at least, you know, not take like 400k. So yeah, very weird sort of situation for Trunks and Mai. In their best case scenario, they're going to look really good, but that is against a specific type of enemy, which there are not really any like difficult stages in the game where you fight a Future Saga enemy. I'm sure at some point in the future, with now the fact that we're getting a lot more red zones, I could see, like, I don't know if it's going to be Anniversary. A lot of people are throwing around the idea of like a Sword of Hope Trunks and Zamasu Anniversary. But like, if they ever do another really big like Future Saga themed celebration, then obviously I could absolutely see them doing a red zone that is based around those characters and those units. So then obviously in those events, as long as the boss doesn't specifically disable dodge, Trunks and Mai might be pretty good. But unfortunately, I feel like the overall verdict on them is that, you know, without fighting a Future Saga enemy, of which there are very few, as I've already said, they're just not really good enough defensively. And I mean, their attack stats as well, like, you think about some of the big LRs that we can run on the future team and stuff like that, on other teams that they're on, their defense isn't that impressive, and the trade-off is that they're only putting out like 5 million attack or 6 million attack, whereas we have, you know, again, not to bring it back to comparing them to the tech Goku Black and Zamasu, you know, on one of their worst turns with no support, we were still seeing them do like 7 or 8 million, and then on their best turn they're doing like 12 million. So pretty crazy. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below of Trunks and Mai. Definitely will be good for Super Battle Road. We'll check out a couple of the different bosses with them. Like I say, I'll try the Metal Cooler Core. We'll see how that goes, but let me know all of your thoughts down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.